Don't mess up the mood. Yeah, I work too hard for it. No, I need to beat it, before you mess up the mood. Yeah, I work too hard for it. Yeah, don't mess up the mood.
Thank you for making me a better person.
I'm only telling you because I sat there on Tuesday and I realized how much more comfortable they are than these. So I'm like, it's more comfortable.
Yeah, this after an hour sitting on these.
We brought you guys stickers.
Yeah, we
No
did.
way.
did?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, hey, I love stickers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we can put one on the little thing.
Oh, yeah. What is that thing called?
All right.
Here, you get two, I get two. Thank you.
Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. This is nice. We'll put it somewhere there so that way when people come in, I'm like, I know her lady.
Free
and a nail lady. So, welcome in. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and then we'll start talking about what you do and all that?
Yeah. My name is Amanda. I do hair and nails, and I have my own suite in South Meadows.
I'm Ava Marsh, and I have a suite in Sparks, Nevada, and I specialize in wedding hair, color, and extensions.
Oh, so you guys do kind of like a little different specialization, huh?
Yeah.
And just for the record, you guys don't work together, but
We don't work together.
Don't work together, just best friends.
Yeah, just best
okay.
friends, just killing it out there. You guys mentioned that you went to school.
Yep.
And you did that, and now you're working full time with this, I'm guessing.
Yeah. We both have 2 other jobs right now, so we're
really?
still working 2 jobs. Just to kind of
So you have
get by.
2 other aside from the hair?
No, just the hair and
one more
another
other one?
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, for both of us.
So how's like the schedule like management for that? Like, do you guys work like set days for the other? Or is it like you get random days off, you work certain days kind of thing?
Yeah.
We both. Do you work set days?
I work at my second job. I'm a server, and I work Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday through Saturday I do hair at my suite.
Oh, okay. So you basically just work 7 days a week though?
Yeah. We both work 7 days
wow.
a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
My other job, I make my own schedule there too, so I kind of just bounce back and
What's your
forth.
other job?
I'm a supervisor at the axe throwing place at the Grand Sierra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So does that make it a little easier with like...
It does, yeah.
I'm sure for you
easier.
it's a little different, huh? Because you have like set hours and kind of thing. So you have to do Thursday through Sunday for hair?
Yeah. I just kind of chose that because all weddings are usually on the weekends, so I just chose the weekend for the hair. But,
and I guess it kind of depends on, since you guys specialize on different things, right? Like for you said wedding hair, and it's like, weekends is for sure.
Yeah.
Like Friday through Sunday is like the most common thing.
Yeah.
But then for you, it's kind of just any day type of thing, right?
I kind of like switch days. So I work on Saturday at the salon, and then I work Sundays at the GSR. So I kind of swap like days. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Was it difficult to find your clientele, to build that clientele from the start?
I think because we started so young, a lot of people from our high school, we had so many friends and things like that who kind of just followed us, and then just growing from there, posting on social media and stuff like that.
How old are you guys now?
19.
Oh, you guys are still very
19,
young.
dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So when did you guys finish like the school portion of it?
I finished in June 27th.
And then I finished July 8th.
Also this year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They were
So you
grinding
guys
it
have
out.
been, damn, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
we
guys-
They're not
graduated
playing around.
like 2020 when like the
Yeah,
Like
we both
COVID and
graduated
stuff.
in the pandemic from high school.
And then you went
And-
right into the...
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
right we started beauty school July 27th, so just like right after
wow.
we graduated high school.
Yeah.
Dang. So you guys already knew like in high school that's what you wanted to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just knew I was like, I'm not going to college.
Yeah.
So I gotta
Yeah.
pick something.
No, thank you.
I feel that,
Which
yeah.
honestly, this is a great field, I think. I don't know anything about hair or nails or nothing, but it just seems like there's so much business to it, you
Yeah.
know? Like, so many people everybody wants to look good, you know?
I remember seeing a hairstylist that I know. I think she tweeted something about like that people kind of put it down, like when you tell them that that's what you want to do, or just like I think when you want to work for yourself, everyone's kind of like, oh, that's not sustainable, like go
Yeah.
to college and work at like a 9 to 5 or something.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's so funny when like, family members or friends are like, oh, you can't get by being a hairstylist. I'm like, do you know how much money hairstylists make?
Yeah. And then when they're
Like-
like the hair appointment, they're like, you're gonna charge me that much? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my living. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like that was my first reaction is when I saw that. I'm like, maybe I know and some people don't, because I know plenty of like hairstylists here. I'm like, they get by, trust me. Like, it's a good career path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a tweet of somebody comparing SoundCloud rappers to hairstylists.
Oh, dude, I saw that too.
I'm like, are you crazy? It's not even close.
They were saying that
Not
like
even
the
close.
girl version of SoundCloud rappers are like hairstylists.
Right.
And I was like,
Oh
what?
my
Not
gosh.
even close.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
even
no.
close.
No,
that's
that's
crazy.
That's wild. That comparison to me was like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, do you know how much a hairstylist can make in one day? But whatever.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, whatever,
Yep.
dude. If you say so. So, if you guys would have gone to college, what would you have studied?
I wanted to be like a kindergarten teacher for a long time because I loved like little kids, but they don't make a lot of money, so
right.
I feel like I would have gone for business and design or something like that. I feel like I can't like stray away from the artsy and like stuff like that. That's just me. That's just who I am. So I don't know, maybe something for like interior design or like floor planning. Things like
That would
like
be nice.
yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very like out of the norm, I think. So that's a pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I know you
major,
did
think, to have.
business, but if you kept going to college, like, would you stick to that, or would
I
you
would
done
have
something
probably
else?
graduated. I wanted to like. I started with business, which it helps now, I guess, but it was like just kind of boring. You know, it's just I hate math, but I'm really good at it, kind of thing. And I feel like business is a lot of math, and I was just kind of like, I'm tired of doing math all the time, even though I'm getting good grades or whatever. But it just it didn't spark me enough to be like, I'll go to college for 4 years and have student loans and all this. Like, it's not really worth it. And then it was like, I went into psychology, which was super interesting, but then it was like, I thought the way you did, and I'm like, where am I really gonna do anything with that? Like, unless I'm like a psychologist, and I gotta go to school for like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like too much. So.
Then you see people graduate and then they start working and it's not even related to what they
Yeah.
to what
They
their
end up in
degree
a
is on,
like, I think 80% of the grads I've done for like UNR, most of them like go somewhere and they don't do anything with their major. Like, they get a career, but it has nothing to do with what they were like going to school for at first. Or they end up staying in the same job that was getting them through college for a while, because then they can't find anything. And it's like, I feel like there's a good way to kind of cheat that, which is like try to work somewhere through college that you have experience for your major. Because nowadays, like, just having a degree doesn't get you a job anymore. Like, you need at least like 3 years of experience or whatever. And it's like, if you worked at like Starbucks for 4 years through college and you go apply for like a law firm, they're gonna be like, okay.
No.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of, school sucks.
I've always thought there's like, no matter what you do, like no matter what you go into, like you have to have a good personality too, Like every business that I can think of relies so much on talking to people and making connections. Do you feel like that helps you when you get a client and you make them feel good too?
You know whether a client's going to come back to you within 10 or 15 minutes of the service, just because the way you guys connect and talk. Everyone's not a perfect fit, and that's fine, but the people that are,
if they start spilling the tea, you know
Yeah.
they're in, right?
Yeah. If they start telling you like life stuff, you're like, oh, I got it hooked, dude.
You're a lifetime client now.
Well, I feel like it's like that with us too. Like, we have reoccurring clients for photos, and it's like that also. Like, within the first 15-20 minutes, if you just click together, like, these people are probably gonna hire me again, like down the line. And then they end up eventually, and then like you said, it doesn't click with everyone. Like, there are the ones that shoot with you one time and then they either go to other people or they just, I don't know, which is fine. Like, you're not entitled to stick with one person, but you can definitely, like, within a little bit, you're like, okay, these people are cool. I mean, are you like that with barbers? I am, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just broke up with mine.
Oh.
Yeah, we had to break up. We had to break up, but I would tell him everything.
We had to break up.
He was almost like my therapist, dude.
I think sometimes one of the biggest like things to tell if a client's gonna stay or not is when the booking time. Like, if you have if they're like, oh, I need to get in like today, or I need to get in tomorrow, I'm like, no, I'm booked out 2 weeks. If they wait those 2 weeks, like, you can tell like they're gonna be a good client.
Right.
But if they're just like trying to get in because they want to get in the next day, like, they don't really value like you and your
It's more
work.
of a last minute, right? Like
Yeah, they're just like trying to get in.
I don't
with
think
whoever.
people think about that enough too, where it's like you have to book ahead of time. Like I think we're in a time where like people like you guys or like anyone that does anything like that, like they get booked out weeks ahead of time, like if they have enough clientele. And it's like you can't just do walk-ins anymore kind of thing. You know, like it's very rare. Like, you know, like when I think about it, like for me, if I go get my hair cut somewhere, I'm like, I know like a well-established barber, I can't just walk in there that day and be like, hey,
if
can you
walk
fit me in?
and they're available, it's probably not the best place.
Yeah.
And I that's something I've thought about for so long now, because I always have tried to contemplate, like in my head, I would never approach someone like that. So when people approach me or Ava and it's like, oh, I need my nails done today, it's like, it takes you to, I wonder like what goes on in people's heads or things like that. It's always so curious to me. I'm like, because you have the people who are like, oh, I'm sure you're booked out 2 weeks, but can I make an appointment for this day? And then the walk-in kind of people. It's so crazy how everyone's different.
Entitlement, like they just think they can show up whenever.
Or being late. That's like
being late.
I mean, even like with us, I have people who will almost get upset because I tell them a date is like taken, and I'm like, well, maybe you should have asked earlier. I
had this one person trying to book a shoot. She hit me like a week before, right, which is kind of reasonable. But I was so booked that week. I was like, I can't. I don't have any time. And she's like, really? Like, you don't have any time?
And it's like, yeah, believe it, I don't.
Yeah.
You're like,
It's like you'd be surprised. Like, I don't have time.
They're like, oh, what? You're too good for me?
It's like,
I guess that's what they think. But like, no.
I think we're viewed as like, you have to just, like, people don't think we have outside lives out of what we do. And I'm sure you guys deal with that too. And it's like, they might be like, but you're only, you know, working from like 1 to 5. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but I'm a person. Like, I have errands to do. I need time for myself, my family, like our relationship, whatever. Like all these things, like you have to find little patches of time for. And when you tell people I don't have time, it's because I'm trying to do all these in like one day, you know. And it's like, I can't make that extra hour for you, because that extra hour can go to me going to like Target and buying stuff. Like,
I don't think another thing that people don't think about are like none of our jobs just stop when we leave like the door. Like they go on 24/7. Like I'll just be like laying in my bed, I'm like, okay, I need to make an Instagram post right now. Like, I need to promote myself. I need to, like, do this or do that. I need to order this. It's like, the job doesn't stop when you close the door.
I think, the entrepreneur viewership from people is like, oh, my God, you get all this free time and you get to do everything for yourself. And it's like, no, you don't.
And you have everything you want. And, oh, my gosh, you look so perfect. Like, your Instagram's amazing. You have all these followers. But it's like, I stopped at nothing to get there.
Yeah,
like you have to work every
takes
day.
forever. Like it's so time consuming. I was looking at your pages; they look really good.
Thank you.
They look like legit, you know. Because then you go on. I mean, I've gone on some other hair ladies pages, and sometimes it's all like hair, right? I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a downside. And for photographers too, like you have to be able to like see the person.
Yeah.
You
want to know who
He's
you're
throwing
meeting.
shots at me right
And
now.
I feel like you guys do well with that.
He's definitely throwing shots at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't post
But
myself
yesterday you were like
ever.
making this video and stuff. I feel
Yesterday
like that's
was
good. Even
the
that
first
kind
time
of
I've
stuff.
posted myself twice on my story where the camera's aiming at me in like probably the 6 years I've been on Instagram.
Honestly.
Like I just don't do it. I remember 2-3 years ago, I like made a story and I'm like, guys, I promise this upcoming year I'm gonna be more active on my story and show myself. Yeah, no.
Didn't happen.
Did not happen. People would bring it up too. They're like, I thought you said you were gonna do that. I'm like, yeah, but then I just don't. I don't know.
Do you guys have anybody helping you with anything with the business side of it?
My family's extremely supportive, and my dad's a businessman, so he is super helpful. With just, he knows how to do all like the marketing and stuff like that. So that's a little bit helpful. He's also out of town all the time, so he's not always there. So I can kind of figure it out myself. But yeah, he's helped me so much.
I actually share my suite with my aunt. I'm moving into my own suite October 1st because working with family is really hard. But she's helped me a lot just because like if I have a question, she's right there to help me
guide you through.
Has she been doing that for like a while?
Like 13 years, yeah.
Oh,
so she like knows like what she's doing.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you have that guidance.
Yeah, it's good to have someone with like experience behind you. Even like with your dad, like on the business end of it. Like obviously he's been doing it for a long time, I'm assuming. and that helps because I think people don't realize too that we have to do everything. Like we're our managers for like every position. You know what I mean? Like we don't have bookkeepers, we don't have people scheduling like things for us, or you know, running budgets and then getting supplies or like whatever. Like we don't have all that. Like we have to do that like on our own time kind of thing. And that's where like the I'm busy comes in, you know, like I have to do everything on my own too, you know.
It's not all about the end result. Like there's a lot that comes behind
people
it.
Just see the brighter picture perfect part of it, I guess.
And I know you said, you know, you only been doing it for a year basically, but even though you're pretty new to it, like what's like the one thing that you wish you knew before you started? Is there anything that you can think of?
I feel like it takes a long time. Something I'm still struggling with now is standing up for yourself in situations where you know it's not the right decision and the client's trying to tell you, oh, well, I really want this, and you're just, no, you shouldn't do that, and you still do it anyway just because it's hard to tell people no, even when that's the right answer. So I think I'm still learning from those mistakes and probably just sticking up for what I know. I went to school for a year and, you know, I have my license and everything. So I do know best at the end of the day, I feel like, and I just need to remember that most of the time.
Do you ever feel like since you've only been doing it for a year, you're like, oh, maybe they're right or something? Like, does that get in like the back of your head?
I feel like yes and no. I feel like, sometimes I feel like that, but it's just all the time me and Ava talk about it too. It's like, they didn't go to school, so how would they know better, you know?
Because it happens everywhere too. I don't know if you get it, you know. Sometimes I'll be taking photos and they're like, hey, why don't you take it from right here, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the sun is like all
I deal with that. I deal with that at like weddings all the time. There's always like the one family member who thinks they're like a photographer.
Oh my gosh.
And every wedding I've done, even this year, sorry to any of my wedding clients who are watching, but it's probably happened at your wedding too. There's always that one person who's like, oh, but if you put them like here and you shoot it like wide and do that, I'm like, no, that's not gonna look good. Like, you know what I mean? And they just kind of want to have the pointers of like, well, back in my day, I used to do it too. I'm like, yeah, bro, but that was like in the 80s. Like, it's different now. Like, you're probably shooting on film back then. Like, that's a whole different. Yeah. Come on, man. Just back up a little bit.
What about you,
like,
Ava? Is there anything that comes to your mind? Or kind of like the same thing?
Yeah, kind of like the same thing. Or maybe just about the money side of it and
right, that's a good point.
Tracking everything. That's like, I like get really good at it. I'm like, okay, I wrote it in my phone how much this is, I've put this much away for the taxes, but then there's like that 1 week I have like 5 clients. I don't want to do all that for all those clients.
Right, you gotta stay on top of it.
So I just like, sometimes it's like, okay, maybe if I went to a salon after school, like I wouldn't really have to deal with all that, but then it's like they're gonna take half my money. I'm not gonna get like all of it, so I don't know.
Yeah, because they deal with the bookkeeping part of it, but then it's like that's why they take a cut. And
which there's value to it, but I mean you can do it yourself too.
It's like, would you rather, you know, get that handled by someone and then you lose half of your money, or you just learn to do it yourself and then you keep all of it? You know? So I guess that makes sense. Have you ever used that one QuickBooks?
No, I have like a lady that like helped me start out. Like she helped me get my business license and like all of that. And she said like you don't need QuickBooks like just yet, because I'm like, it's my first year. So I have my booking app and it tracks like literally everything that I do.
Yeah, I didn't get it until after my first year of being full time, but ever since then I've had it, and it definitely helps on like the tax side of it, because you can just every single day like update it, and then let's say when your tax period is coming up, you're like, oh, okay, so this much or like that much, and this was a business expense and it wasn't. Like, it's a little, I think it's like $100 to buy it, but it's like for life, so it's not too bad. And I definitely recommend it to like
QuickBooks.
Anybody.
Is that what it is?
You don't have it?
I don't have it, dude.
When you get it, let me know and I'll show you how to use it. It's really convenient, because before I was doing everything like writing it down or like putting it in notes or something like that, and keeping track of a year's worth of that is like,
It's so hard.
ridiculous. I remember having to go through all my Venmo transactions and being this is personal, this is not, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again, dude.
Yeah.
So ever since I got QuickBooks, it's like if people pay me like electronically, I guess, it just immediately I put it in there, you know?
Yeah.
Like Zelle, Apple Pay, Venmo. I mean, there's only 3 I have, but it's like anything like that, it just goes in there, and then by the end of the year, it's just all nicely logged in, almost like an Excel format. You know, it's kind of what it reminds me of. And then you're like, oh, cool, this was much for taxes, and this is profit, and this is all that. So, but I think, yeah, like at least when you hit your second year, like definitely look into it, because you're obviously going to keep growing the more you go, more clients, all that stuff. So I can't believe you don't have it.
No, I mean, I have an accountant that helps me, but this is going to be my first year.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
going
true.
into it like full time. So I'm scared, dude.
When's your official year? When'd you start? April, May?
Nah, March, I think.
So March next year? You didn't remember the date? Like when you officially
I don't
did?
do that. He remembers every date for everything.
I do.
He's like, this is when I...
Mine was February 17th, 2019.
Oh my gosh.
That was when I officially
Everything.
left my job and started going.
Yeah, I think it's time, bro.
I remember when I first got my first camera, like all that. These were things that to me, I'm like, I have to remember, because a couple years down the line, like I want to look back and be like, oh, there was this day. And then you have like your anniversaries, I guess, you know, like I'm coming up to my 6th year of like shooting in general. Yeah. Which is on October 28th. So.
Bro, it's
He's
time.
like, oh, did you try it?
Not yet.
All right, try
This is
it.
the official review. Waterloo. Each flavor. This is what I do. It's so stupid. But this is what I do. Let's see if it's good. If it's not good, I'm going to slap you. Same shit.
Oh my.
Same shit. It's basic. That's it. That's what it is.
You're basic.
It's like yesterday, you're a 7.
I'm sorry, I always just have something to say
It's
right
so
after.
aggressive too. I mean, it's not bad, I guess, but
I'm so
anyway.
disappointed in you, bro.
Okay,
Whatever. I gave it a shot. I
Stick
tried.
to the ice drinks.
Yeah, just stick to your sugar.
ice,
Stick
and
to
then
your
there's this
sugary
other one that I
drinks.
found that's kind of like same, very sweet.
Just
and,
stick to your watery
Yeah.
or your sugary mineral water.
It's not.
You know the ice drinks have a lot of sugar, right?
It's like the fake one, so it don't count.
Anyways, so I'll kind of touch on you guys separately for this, but since you said you kind of specialize in weddings, I know you guys are like super young. Do you feel like you both ever get like that judgment because you're so little from clients?
Yeah.
I think, people get like the judgment or whatever. But I think one thing that's like kind of relates to it is I feel like I have to have this like professional attitude 24/7. Like when I go out, I'm like, people are gonna like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm the shit, but like people are gonna like look and be like, oh, that's like Ava, like she does hair.
If they recognize
It's like,
you.
can I act like I'm 19 like for a little bit? Like,
Yeah.
can I go do this and that without people like being like, oh, she does hair and like she has a business, like she needs to be like professional 24/7. It's like, no, I have a life too, but I don't know. And then I feel like everyone just, I'm just gonna be like honest, like everyone gets offended about everything like nowadays. So it's like I'm like always on my toes, like can I do this without someone like gonna like throw me under the bus or like come after me after I do it? So
it's sad.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I mean, it's the reality too, you know.
Yep.
It's
I feel
you have
like
to put up with
through
it sometimes.
social media too, like everyone is keeping an eye on you almost. Like if you do anything and they use that like judgment of like, oh, but you're supposed to be a professional, like you run a business, like you can't say these things or you shouldn't. And I'm like, yes, I can.
Like, you're a person.
Yeah, it's like just because I have a business doesn't mean I can't like speak my mind or do certain things. Like, why do you care that much about it? Like, it's just, I don't know. I've personally have dealt with it, like especially on Twitter.
On Twitter, I was gonna say Twitter.
Like I at one point, like my Twitter was literally all just like photography stuff. You know what I mean? And I hated it because Twitter for me was always fun. Like it's just to go on there and do whatever. And then like I started to just kind of go back to having it just be personal. And I used to have people like legit message me and be like, I don't think it's right for you to like tweet that. I'm like, first of all, who the hell are you? And second, like, why not? It's my Twitter. Like, if you don't like it, you can block me, right? Or like unfollow me and that's it. Like, why are you so concerned? And, you know, like, especially for certain topics that are, like, controversial or whatever, like, it's almost like people don't want you to say anything, or they expect you to always say something.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I remember during, you know, like BLM and all those things, I hadn't, like, tweeted anything about it, and people were legit like, why don't you tweet anything? You have a good platform. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like,
you don't know how I feel about it.
And the thing is, like, I was making donations to, like, certain campaigns, but I'm not over here bragging about it. You know, like, I told these people, I'm like, dude, I've been donating what I can. It's just because I don't go put it on my story. Like, I made a donation. Like, I don't have to do that to validate it. Like, I just did it because I wanted to. And, you know, like, well, you should do this or say that, or, like, just for a bunch of different stuff. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm not Drake, bro. Like, relax. Like, I'm not a freaking celebrity with, like, millions of followers. Like, it's fine.
It's like, I'm a hometown celebrity.
I was like, I'm just a local person. Like, calm down. Oh my God, don't start, bro.
You are, though. Like,
the record
isn't it so weird? Isn't it so weird that people know you by your Instagram name? They don't know your real name?
Yeah, well, some people don't know. Yeah,
but for
my
you,
name
it's
is
kind
not
of like,
Chava.
I mean, your full name's not that, but it's like people call you that already, so
I don't know.
That makes sense.
Sometimes because I put like a lot of my life out there, right? And sometimes it freaks me out when people are like, hey, I watch your podcast and I listen to all
people
the
pay
episodes.
attention.
I'm like, man, so you know everything about me and I don't know anything about you. It kind of just like a it's not balanced.
I've been approached by people who call me Nanders more than I ever have anyone calling me my full name, like, ever. Don't even go back to that story about the guy.
No. That's over. That's in the past.
All right.
I'm trying to get over it.
No, but, like, it's just, it's funny, like, but I'm guilty, though. Like, there's people that I don't really know them, but if they tell me their Instagram, I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, we follow each other. What happened?
Sorry.
Oh. Like, they'll tell me, like, their Instagram, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Like, we follow each other type of thing. And then, I don't know if this happens with you guys, but, like, when someone will say, oh, I know him, and it's just because they follow you, and I'm like, no.
No,
you know, like, there's people who will be like, oh, so-and-so, like, I saw so-and-so somewhere, and they were telling me that, like, they know you. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, I have never met this person in my whole life. I'm like, do they follow me somewhere? Because no, you're not even close to knowing, like, the person just because you follow them type of thing. But it's just social media.
What it is. Sometimes it's sad, though, because sometimes I have opinions and I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother.
That's hard.
Stay quiet.
And I worry about, because I have, like, a personal account and my hair account, and I worry even about posting on my personal account sometimes. I'm like, maybe, like, they're gonna follow me and like you know, it's scary
type of thing.
But I always try to I just do it anyway, because at the end of the day, it's like, that's my personal account for a reason, and if you have a problem with it, you don't have a problem with it on my hair account. So
and I just think it's better to be authentic than try to, like, hide yourself or make yourself look out to be this whole different person just so people approve you. It's like, if people like you for who you are, they're gonna go to you no matter what. And I think a lot of the times in this modern day, like, people are so worried about what other people think of them that they're like, I can't do this or I can't say that because people aren't gonna come to me or people aren't gonna like me. And it's like, well, no one is entitled to always like you anyways. Like, it's fine if there's people who don't like you, that's okay. But it's like, the people who do, you can be yourself and they're always gonna be there, like, for it, you know? So I know you said you do nails too, right? So around when did you guys, like, both start all that? Like, when did you start the nails and hair, and then when did you start, like, the hair
I
and
started
stuff?
doing nails when I was 16 in high school. I did them all for my friends. I asked my parents for a bunch of nail stuff for my 16th birthday.
Nice.
And I just started doing them from then on. I had never touched, like, hair dye or anything like that until I started going to school. But I was in competitive cheer too, so I was always in, like, to the makeup and the hair, teasing and braiding, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But,
What about you, Eva?
Honestly, like, I was like, I like the boho style, so I would always, like, do, like, the boho braids on my hair and stuff like that. But until I went to beauty school, that was, like, the first time I really, like, understood everything about hair. It was just something I was interested in, like, and I really love social media, like I do. So I knew I wanted that to be part of my job somehow, some way. And I followed this girl on social media, and I just, like, like from social media, her life looked so like fun and great. I'm like, I want to live a life like that. And like, she was a hairstylist, and she still is. And so I was just like, I'm gonna go to beauty school and we'll see how it works. Do you remember
when you did your your first wedding? Because I know you love that. You said you love it, but when did you like actually fall in love with like weddings, or what is it about it that attracts you?
So this is like kind of sappy, but I just like love like that. Just like it makes me like emotional, nice. And I don't know, I just love it. So like, and I love styling hair. So, I would just like style hair like all the time in beauty school on doll heads and like do all this crazy stuff.
If I looked over at Ava, she had a braid in someone's hair.
Yeah, so I was just like doing all that, and then one day I was just like, I'm gonna message all these people on Instagram and see how far I can get with doing different things. So I messaged Hannah and I was like, do you think I could do some like hair for your photos?
Hannah Visions,
yeah.
Right, for those of you who don't know.
I was about to ask which Hannah.
Yeah, because she does like a lot of editorial stuff. So she gave me a few like jobs, and then for the wedding side of it, there's this girl named Maddie Bland that she just got married, so that's her new last name. And I just messaged her because when you look up on Instagram Reno bridal stylist, she comes up. She's the only one. Like,
really?
We have bridal bars in town and stuff like that, but like no one really specializes in it. And I like thought, I was like, you know, I could be the Reno bridal stylist.
Right.
Like, why not do it?
Smart. Oh, first of all, Hannah, if you're watching this, come to the podcast.
Yeah,
please.
do it.
Please. Anyway,
she really does actually.
It's a good idea to see who the people are, like the ones that are killing it out there, and then try to like not compete, but like be in their space.
Yeah,
you know?
It's so important.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I never thought of that. It just clicked right now when you mentioned that.
That's the thing too. Like, I feel like everyone who's a hairstylist or a nail tech knows everyone who is a hairstylist or a nail tech. So it's smart to be in a community with all of those people and find the right people to be in a community with, because most of them are there to help you, and then the other ones sometimes they aren't. But the people that are there to help you are really there to help you, which is great.
Yeah.
With you, like, since you do nails too, do you just do that all in the same place, or?
Yeah, I have like a room it's probably exactly this size actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and maybe a little smaller. But I do nails in one corner and hair in the other.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's cool. So you just kind of share the space for both businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about in the future, like, combining yourselves?
We wanted to.
It's in the works.
We wanted to get a suite like right after beauty school together, but I had that opportunity with my aunt, and I was not gonna like not take it because she just helps me so much. So I was like, when our leases are up, maybe one day we can get one.
I think it's good to just. It's not a bad idea for you two to start like separately first, because then you can kind of build your own brands, and then like eventually if you combine it, it just brings in more together. You know,
it's funny because you said you weren't like high school friends or anything like that, right?
No.
You just met during beauty school.
Isn't it funny when you meet people that kind of do what you do?
Yeah.
You kind of just click instantly.
It was kind of funny because she went to North Valleys with my cousin. Yeah. And I went to Damani, but
let's go Damani.
Only my senior year. I was a new kid, but
okay.
Yeah, but and so I just like saw her in class, and I was like, do you know my cousin? And she's like, yeah. And then I was like, let's take a picture and send it to her. And then we were friends ever since.
That's so funny.
I feel like he's become one of my closer friends, and it was literally through like photos that we met, you know? Like,
and I think with like Juan and Chris.
Yeah, and like guys. All those guys, like when we went on the trip, it was like, you feel like you know these people for so long, but not really, you know? Like, you just kind of, since you have the same thing, the same liking and common and the same interest, it just makes it so much easier to just like get along, you know? Like even with, you know, I have a pretty knit tight like group of friends, but I don't think I could have done a trip like I did with them and enjoyed it as much as like this friend group, you know what I mean? Because it's like we're all stoked to go somewhere and see something, even if we have to drive like hours to get there, and that's just like the photographer mindset, I think. But and then like with your other friends that don't do that, they're just like, why? Like, why are we driving 5 hours to go see the coast? I'm like, because it's tight.
When I go with my family, I'm like, they're always like leaving me behind. Like, please, just give me a minute.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm just trying to get something real quick.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. I was about to ask you guys something else.
Just slow, bro.
I guess so, man.
That's
Damn.
what it is.
Oh my God, what was I gonna ask? Oh, like if you guys did get, you know, when you do get like a space, do you guys like a preferred area in town, like, or is it just kind of wherever is available type of thing?
I love the South Meadows area, or like around like the mall, like Meadowwood.
Like Meadowwood.
I just feel like that's a really good like area of town that has a lot of different people.
Well, I think it's like near Meadowwood, it's kind of like the center point almost.
Yeah.
Too. Like people can come from like every little direction, and it's not.
Even from like
too
Incline,
far.
probably.
Yeah,
Right.
even from down there. I mean,
You're
or
kinda
like
close.
people always exaggerate how far like Stead and Lemon Valley is, but I'm like, it's just like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
On the freeway, like it's not
That's true.
that bad. You know what I mean?
But there's no traffic.
I mean,
With traffic.
yeah,
Traffic.
yeah. I mean,
bad,
traffic
yeah.
has been getting,
But I mean,
pretty bad.
It's because the city is growing. But I mean, we sometimes say it like if it's a bad thing.
But it's
I
good.
mean, business is blowing everywhere. It's blowing
I
up.
think right now with Reno expanding, it's like the best time to be in something like we're all into, you know, especially like you guys where you've only been doing it a year and you're already working at like separate suites and your like social media is the way it is. Like that's impressive, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like for you guys, since you're just so young and you have such little time in the field, like the fact of so many people coming here, like there's just going to be more people finding out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna keep going.
And in
It's
a
what
way,
you
I
want.
feel like, you know, sometimes, I mean, young people probably prefer to go with the young person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. Like, what would you guys say is like your demographic for like age groups, like for your clients?
I feel like we were just talking about this yesterday. What'd you say was the perfect age?
Oh yeah, I told her okay. So, I had 3 clients one day, and each client, when I asked them, "How old are you?" 24. Every single one was 24, and I was like, okay. They all left over a 20% tip for me,
Wow.
and they all rebooked at their appointment,
Hell yeah.
and I'm like, okay, like
Like,
this
this
is
is
my
nice.
age.
This is
Like,
a perfect
these
client
people-
right
I
there,
feel like
right?
we do get a lot of like the younger people, but it's kind of like, oh, you know, come and go type of thing whenever they want. You're gonna book a nail appointment for one day and then not come back till like
Yeah, I
5
just want
months
it one
later. You know,
time.
yeah. So I feel like it is the younger. I feel like probably like 16 to 26 or 27 is like our like main like age group, but right in the middle of that, I feel like
Yeah.
is like
Right,
the
because
perfect
I mean, at
clientele.
24, if you think about it, you're not young anymore.
No,
Yeah, they
you're,
want
not old.
Yeah, you're
someone.
established. You know.
Yeah, you're
somewhat.
getting your stuff together. You know, you've gone through life. You probably know that you gotta leave a tip.
Yeah.
Because people
Yeah,
work hard.
You're at the
Yes.
age where like you probably already have a decent job and you understand more of like the business side of things where it's like you have to tip these people, like it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just appreciate the services because you're like just kind of growing up too.
Yes.
So I agree because I feel like when I get clients
It kinda-
between that like 24 to
Yeah.
26
I
is
feel
like the
like
sweet
I
spot.
could say that, you know, it happens with the photography.
Oh yeah,
clients
same here.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
Around 23, 27.
yeah,
Perfect age.
23 to 27 is like the golden. I think no disrespect to my non-27 year. All my other clients are great too, but like I do see what you mean. Like where
Yeah.
are the ones that are more inclined to tip you and aren't like super pushy about anything and like. But then yeah, when you get to the younger demographic, is like and then sometimes the older can be like
Yeah.
And
But
sometimes
Yeah.
the younger, like, they put so much like pressure on me that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand that.
The younger you
The
said?
process.
Yeah.
Younger
Yeah.
They
people?
like don't understand that I've only been doing this for a year. Like I have stuff to learn and like I need to grow and all of this stuff. And then sometimes just like they're shit talking.
No.
I'm like I can't shit talk with you. Like I know we're both
Yeah.
like 19, whatever, but it's like I can't be.
It's your business.
Yeah,
you can't be at your business space like talking about what they might be talking about.
I mean, you could probably
and they're like talking about
them,
another client because it's like so small in Reno.
Oh,
like,
dude.
it's like I know
Yes.
Tell me about it. You know how many clients have had mentioned someone I've shot with and they like talk bad about them, and I'm like,
it's so uncomfortable. Cool.
Yeah, because you like the other person too.
Yeah.
And then
like,
I'm like,
oh
well,
my
I'm
God.
just gonna agree with you.
I've been put in
know.
that position so much more than I like to, because like I just want to get along with everyone, and it's like when you have these people who are like, oh, you shot with so and so, right? I can't stand him or her or them, and I'm like,
that's so like toxic and negative. I hate when
it almost makes
like
me
that.
just want to not want to shoot with them anymore, because it's not like these people were saying that about
That's
them.
what I was just gonna say. It's not like they're saying that about you. So what kind of person does that make you talking about them?
Yeah, it's like the people I shot with them before. It's like I didn't hear them say anything about you or your friend group.
It's like we do meet a lot of people, and sometimes it's kind of like, oh, that person said nice things about you, and you're over here saying bad things about them. Like, that's so sad.
You kind of see that side of people more than you want, you know, because to them, they're just kind of like, oh, I think I can say it. But it's like, I'm not going to go tell them, like, I'm not going to go up to that person and be like, you know, so-and-so doesn't like you, and start up drama or something and be like the middleman. But it's so awkward. Like, it's uncomfortable. Like, you're like, okay, why are you telling me that? Like, I don't care. They were nice to me. They tipped me. You know?
I just feel like too, like being hairstylists and nail techs, like you're with them like 2 to 4 hours, so they're gonna tell you everything, and like you're gonna have to be okay with it, kind of thing.
How do you like that though? Like, do you feel comfortable with that? Like, you know, just talking to people for a long time?
Depends on the subject.
Sometimes I'm quiet. I just
too.
get
You
into
can
my
be quiet
zone.
and you just focus on the work.
And some people don't like to talk, and I'm totally okay with that too.
Some people fall asleep. I'm like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
cool.
I had this lady fall asleep in my chair the other day. I was blow drying her hair, and her head just like fell. I thought she passed out. I was so scared. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Someone almost passed out in my chair. She was like leaning over like this.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it's just relaxing.
Yeah, because
you know
when
what I
you're
mean?
sitting there, you know, and then you guys have them like more like leaning like this, right?
Inclined a little bit. Dude, I've been times when I'm at my barber and I'm like, bro, I'm about to just I'm about to just take a nap real fast. So I can totally see that. But yeah, it's just like what you said, where some people don't like to talk. I feel like sometimes clients might think they have to, but it's like you don't need to talk to me for the whole time. Like, just kind of come in and
honestly
get what you need to.
I feel kind of weird when they don't talk.
Oh, I do too. Trust me. Me personally, like I'm so used to just not shutting up for the whole hour that I'm with them. That if they're very reserved, I'm like, like I feel like I'm bugging them.
Yeah, or you feel like they're uncomfortable and they don't like you, and it makes you like get all like sensitive, and you're like, okay, what am I doing?
I'll have conversations in my head like, oh my God, why aren't they talking? Do they hate it?
With me it's like, oh, maybe they're not enjoying their time at the shoot, and then like at the end, like you almost want to be like, oh, I hope you guys had like fun and you enjoyed it. And obviously they're just because they're more quiet, you, had fun, you know, right? And it's like,
you had fun.
Yeah, I'm like, did you enjoy yourself?
You had fun, right?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm like, you want to see some of the pictures? Did you like them a little bit? Like, how'd you feel for the hour that we were together, you know? And it's just, everyone's different, you know? It's very hard to like,
in a way it's good for like people that want to go into it, that you just have to become comfortable, like being uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations sometimes, because it's fine.
You have to kind of work around like your client, you know, like their personality and how they are.
People
like, you
are gonna
can't
be people.
Yeah, like you can't expect every client to come in and be like all jittery and happy, like, oh my God, like what if this person had like a long day at work and they're just, I need to just do this, but I'm just gonna kind of chill and not talk about my whole life or something and like go on about it.
Do people ever banter you with like crazy stuff, like their life drama,
like things that you wouldn't think they would tell you?
Yes. I get asked about like relationship advice all the time.
Really?
Like and me and my boyfriend have been together for 3 years, so I could see where that comes from, but like I don't know. Like, I'm not in your relationship. Like, I feel so weird when people ask me, like, relationship advice. I'm like, and half the time I'm like, girl, don't talk to him. Like, no.
Yeah, it's like, maybe that's not a good one.
Yeah, no, it's, like, so weird. When people ask me about relationships, I'm like, what?
I had this client one time, and just, like, getting to know her. She's a new client. I'm like, oh, what do you do? She's like, oh, I do crime scene cleanup.
Oh,
and I'm like,
what?
Oh, damn.
My God. I was like scared.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, she knows how to clean up a crime scene.
Yeah, you're like,
a
that's
little
what
nervous
she's seen,
over
right?
here.
Wow, all right then.
So yeah, it's like you don't, like you look at someone and you don't even know their life, but then they sit in this chair and tell you everything. So
I mean, that's pretty cool though. I feel like for you guys, it definitely sounds like you do conversate way more because like you're just with them for a long time. And
what's the longest appointment that one can have?
sometimes
6 to 7 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, color
Wow.
corrections, that could be a whole day process.
Wow.
I've done someone's hair for probably like 6 to 7 hours
Holy
before.
crap,
That's
dude.
wild.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
And when things go
Shout
wrong
out to girls out
sometimes,
there, man.
yeah, things
that's
go wrong
wild.
sometimes too, and you have to go back and do something else. So that's like double the time, you know.
Sometimes I feel pressured though that I need to be quicker, and
Yeah.
it like makes me like have anxiety because it's like, oh, they just want to get out of here. Like it's already been like
An
2
hour
or
or
3.
two.
Yeah, and it's like no, I need like 3 or 4 hours because it's like you have really thick hair, or you need this or that. So
Well, and at the end of the day, like if you take your time, it's just gonna be better anyways.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
down the line. I think as a client, they should understand like certain things aren't quick,
Yeah.
and you know,
Being rushed is the worst too.
Yeah.
It makes everything bad.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
With anything. You
How
can't
do-
rush the process.
So what about like you guys? Like who do you get your hair done and all that by, or do you just do it
I just
yourself?
start getting my hair done by Ava, so I'm gonna be going to Ava for now,
Oh, there
and
you
I
go.
do Ava's nails, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
There
much
you
it.
go. No wonder.
There you go. It's a
Those
nice
look
little
nice.
trade-off.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, my aunt does my hair color, but I used to have extensions, and Amanda did my extensions. So.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool. So they just kind of both like, hey,
Yeah, I
Look it
was
up.
just
I
you
like,
do
mean,
trade
this,
off.
I do that.
That's the best thing. I feel like that's so nice about this business too, because I just started doing like personal training too, like working out and stuff. My like personal trainer was like, oh, I'd love to just like trade services too,
yeah.
and I'm like, that's just so great, like giving people like you just can switch like, and all it is time, and it's just so nice to
And
have
it
feel
doesn't
like-
feel like
yeah.
like you're paying like
exactly,
just doing what
yeah,
you like either way.
yeah.
I've definitely like, you know, when you meet people, they always hit you with the, you give me some photos, I give you this. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's fine.
I mean,
agree.
You take my pictures and sometimes I take your pictures.
Yeah,
you know,
and we don't
so
charge each other. We're
Works
just
out.
like, here you
Works
go.
out.
But like I think what do you call it? Yeah, like the fact that you can just kind of give each other something in return is like really nice, because then you just kind of get hookups like everywhere, you know.
And you can
I
try
love
new
that.
things.
Yeah,
Like
that's
we
the
just
thing.
put this purple in her hair, and
Yeah.
she's never really had something like
I've
that.
never had.
You never had color in your hair like
heck
that?
no,
I
I had
like it.
like color in my extensions, but it wasn't my real hair, so that's like the only thing I've ever had.
How are you
like the
feeling
color?
about it?
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it so much. I keep getting compliments on it. It's so great. I'm
That's a
gonna
nice
do.
little touch.
I'm gonna do orange next.
Go through
Hey,
every
fall's
color.
coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Fall season, just get the orange.
Go with the
dude.
season.
No, yeah, hey. So as far as like, do you guys have like obviously besides trying to get something together and all like that, like, do you guys have any other like upcoming ventures together or just separately? Like, do you guys want to start doing anything out of town or like travel stuff?
I mean, I know you could probably travel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's
weddings.
one of
Really
my biggest goals is like to travel to do weddings, but like I also really want to do like celebrity styling and like
okay.
concerts and like
Oh, okay.
festivals and stuff like that. So I also feel like wedding hair is gonna help me build like like a portfolio and like oh, she can style hair, so like
Right.
so that's like I don't know, that's a goal, but
What about you?
Celebrity
Amanda?
nails too for me. Like I follow, I can't remember, like his Instagram name is weird, but he like does all the Kylie Jenner, all their nails and everything
Oh,
like that.
really?
And I'm just like, I would totally want to do stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Just, and I kind of wanted to recently just like go into some celebrities DMs and be like, hey.
I mean, what's
Because
the
why
worst that could
not?
happen?
Yeah, it's like, you know, some of them are super open to doing all the fun
Honestly,
stuff.
it's like the worst you can just have them do is just not either reply or just say
Or they
no and
just
it's
don't
like,
see it.
and
keep
Right.
it moving. Like it's
Exactly.
fine, you know?
Yeah. So,
like
yeah,
you have
that'd be
nothing to
something.
lose from it. It's not going to stop your business or not get you
Yeah.
clients. And
Yeah.
I think it's like that with everything. Like people are so scared to like try something.
Yeah.
It's like, don't be so afraid of rejection. Like it's fine, you know, because eventually you're going to hit the one that's
Yep.
going to matter. And you're going to be like, oh, I just needed that one, you
Yeah.
know, after this many messages. someone finally hit me back up.
Someone will
And
give you
there
that
you go.
chance.
I mean, like, I agree with, like, the travel thing. I would love to just do travel wedding stuff or, like, elopements and just go. There's one photographer from Iceland that I follow who he literally just travels throughout, like, the entire, like, world, basically, and just does, like, I think 2 weddings per month. And, like, one day he'll be, like, in freaking Europe, and then he's, like, in Hawaii, and then he's like in Mexico and Brazil and like China, and I'm like, holy crap, dude. Awesome. Like, can you imagine, like, you just travel a month every single month to a new country in the world, and you just shoot somebody's wedding? Like, that would be like the most ideal. Like, I'm okay, like, I'm good.
Like,
I'm like, I don't care if I shoot nothing else ever besides that. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I would be very happy to just travel that much and do it.
With like all of us though, I feel like there's no like cap point for this job. We could literally do anything we want. So why
like,
not
time,
like dream
you can
big
just
like
do
that?
it.
Like,
Yeah,
you think
no,
that
definitely.
there is, but like, if you think back, like, look back, like, you think, oh, I had this goal, and I thought that when I reached that goal, I was gonna be set. But then once you get there, you have new goals, you know. So I don't feel like it's always ever gonna stop.
Yeah,
You're always gonna have something.
I think the more you progress, the more you want from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with you guys right now, you are obviously still pretty new, but you're already doing it like almost as full-time, in the sense of you don't have the 2 other jobs. Like, I'm sure eventually you're just gonna have to get rid of that and focus on what you got. So that might be like the more closer up goal, but then after that you're like, okay, what's next? And then if you hit that, you're like, well, what's next after that? And then you just kind of like constantly keep going. So do you guys have any like recommendations or tips for anyone who would be interested in like going to school for that?
I'd say if you want to go to school for cosmetology, get in and out as fast as you can, and don't ever say no to a client, because you're gonna learn everything you can just from taking the one client you didn't want to take. So that's, I don't know.
You have to be a hard worker. You can't go in there thinking that, oh, hairstylist it's an easy job. I'm just gonna get the license and go off with it. Like, no, you have to work so hard every single day.
Do you guys know the girl from Bleach? Yeah,
Krista
right?
Storm, we don't know her. We just follow her.
Yeah,
But she always talks about that.
Yeah.
She always like, you have to work your ass off.
Yeah, you do, especially in
the Bleach salon.
Bleach salon.
Bleach salon?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it is.
Especially like, you just have to be a hairdresser. You're not going to get clients by just sitting there waiting for them to walk in your door, and you're not going to get through school by not taking clients and just sitting there and getting your hours.
Especially with how competitive everything is.
Yes.
But you guys are doing good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not.
Thank you.
If I was a girl, I would go with you too. Honestly.
I mean, hey, it's people to recommend.
I mean, it looks like the
the
page looks great. Like, the work looks amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, like, if people ask you and be like, hey, funny enough,
Yeah.
we had these 2 girls on the podcast. Why don't you check them out? You know what I mean? Yeah, like, it's always nice to just like meet people, because then you can just recommend, like, kind of like all around. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, you're looking for wedding hair? Well, look, this girl does that. Or hey, you're looking for a new nail girl and / maybe your hair girl too at the same time. Here you go.
We got the whole package.
No, seriously, dude.
Yeah, you guys are the first ones that we have that do hair and nails.
Yeah, we've
So.
never had like anyone who does hair first. So when like you reached out, I thought that was really cool. I was like, yeah, we've never had anyone that does that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole new thing.
I honestly, I was thinking, like, what are we gonna talk about?
You should have heard him on Tuesday. He's like, I don't know anything about hair or like what to say, and I'm like,
freaking out.
I'm like, this is literally why you bring them in though, so you can.
Yeah,
I told him, I'm like, our businesses have a lot in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because like, do you guys know Avery and Hannah from local or local?
We know of them.
Yeah.
Right when we got into beauty school, Avery was leaving.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, because those two are like my closer friends as far as like they do hair kind of thing. And like when the times I've shot with them or something and we would talk about kind of like we're talking now is when I realized how much in common they both have. Like, especially if you know, obviously you guys just don't do wedding hair or whatever. Like, you do everything like we do. Like, we don't just do weddings. And like that's when I realized, like, wow, dude, hairstylists and photographers kind of can relate like a lot, like in their field of work or just how things are and like clientele and anything like that. So that's why I told him like it's really cool to bring them in, because then you can, other people can realize like, oh yeah, like when you think about it that way, it's definitely like super in common. Shout out to Hannah and Ava.
Great conversation. I think we're getting close to wrapping up. Maybe just gonna plug your Instagram once again and
AM Salon and more.
And then mine's Ava Marsh Hair.
Awesome.
So if you guys need hair, nails,
these are your girls.
Yeah.
Don't look
there you
elsewhere.
go.
Come see us.
No, definitely. To like close it out though, I mean, what do you guys have like as far as any goals? I know the year's almost over in like 3 months, which is kind of crazy, but like, do you guys have anything upcoming where you're like aiming to do before the year ends, or as far as going into the next year?
I'm hoping to quit my job by January.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just more education. On Sunday, I'm taking a hair class, so that'll be fun. But just more education and just like starting my business, like even more, and just like getting the basics down. You know.
There you go.
Nice.
Good
Well, thank you guys so much
Thank you
for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you
course.
for the
Thank you for
stickers.
having
Yeah, we
us.
appreciate
We
it.
gotta
Yeah.
get stickers, bro.
Like
it's a
for
good
the
idea, right? You give
podcast.
someone a sticker and then
Yeah, actually we should for the
They
podcast.
put it somewhere.
I know a site where we can make some nice
great
ones at.
marketing.
So definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks guys.
Thanks again, guys.
Alright.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, guys. See you on the
See you
next one.
Later.